Welcome to another edition of Don Allphin on Fishing. I've been gone for about 3 weeks on a beautiful family vacation, which was just wonderful. Caught a lot of fish and had a ball. And now I'm back and thought I'd try to film a nice video this morning, hopefully, on being able to jig for kokanee. What is it? It's July 19th, and about 8 o'clock in the morning, just starting out, and we'll just have to see what the morning brings us. But stay tuned. I've just got started with a chartreuse. It's not a Koktonator. I call it a Coltonator. It's the spoon that Colton Christensen came up with a couple of years ago, and I'm just excited to get out and be fishing again for a while. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll be able to put a limit of kokanee in the boat. Got a few fish down there. You can see the jig moving up and down. The fish are trying to locate me. Those could be rainbows. Possibility that they're kokanee, but they are interested. They're in about 40 feet of water. So we'll just see what happens here. Now I've got a little bit of a school of them. Oh, missed the bite. Missed the bite. He hit. Now if I see if they'll come back. If they come back, it's generally a rainbow, or, well, sometimes the kokanee do hit a second time. Now one of the things you might appreciate knowing is that when I start jigging for kokanee in the morning, I always look at the level that the kokanee seem to be holding, and I make note of that, because if I decide to do some trolling later, I actually know firsthand from my jigging exactly where those kokanee were holding a little earlier in the day as far as depth goes. Now that's huge, because a lot of times guys are thinking that they're fishing for kokanee while they're trolling, and in reality they're in schools of rainbow, or they could be in schools of very small pup lake trout. So it does benefit you to do a little jigging for kokanee, even if you will eventually during the day switch to trolling, because at least you have an idea. I call it a barometer of the depth that the fish are in. Yeah, I think I've got a school of kokanee down there. The interesting thing is I've had some interest in them, but they're not biters. And a little higher up at 20 to 25 feet, I've already gotten a couple of bites, and I'm guessing, pretty educated guess, that those are rainbows. But since I'm after kokanee this morning, I'm going to stay focused on that between 40 and 45 foot mark. And eventually, I believe that we'll get a biter or two. I came out yesterday afternoon with my grandson, Owen, and we got out at about 3:30, maybe quarter to 4. And he had a friend coming over to see him and play with him at 5:30, so we only had about an hour and a half. So I came over, we got 6 bites, or actually 4 bites. He got 2, and I got 4. And we put a nice 20-inch kokanee in the boat, jigging, and a pup lake trout that we actually got in. So I'm not completely unaware of what's going on with the fish based on last night. Have a few fish down below. I think they're kokanee school. I'm a little tiny bit late to the party, so I'm kind of coming down in the middle of them, but we'll just see what happens here. Oh, I got one. That's a big, it's a kokanee, because it's coming to the surface so doggone fast. There we go. Look at that thing, way out there. What a nice fish. And I don't know if I can even get it in. It's so nice. There you go. There we go. Now that's a dandy way to start the day. Nice kokanee. Now we got some more fish coming in. Don't look too interested yet. We got one big fish way down here, larger fish, but I think that's down there at 70 feet. It's probably a lake trout. And as I've said before, I'm after kokanee today, so I'm really not going to usually go down unless I've got him right underneath me. And I can just quickly drop down and see what he is. But I'm not going to go chasing those deep fish because I know I've got fish between 40 and 45 feet that I'm after, the kokanee. Okay, so I've got a couple of little marks coming up above, maybe in 35 feet. So I'm going to come up a little bit and see. Oh, now they're coming into. Now I've got a quandary. Do I go up for the fish that I just saw, or do I go down? And I've chosen to go down because it looks like they were closer in. Uh-oh, I've got a fish on it now. In fact, 2 or 3 fish on it. Hopefully one of them will bite so I can see what we are. Now they're at 50 feet. Now, that doesn't bother me at all for kokanee. I know they've been at 40 to 45. Now I've got fish playing with me at 50. If these are in fact kokanee, then we'll know that we've got schools that are stretched from 40 to at least 55 feet. Now he's moved up to 50 feet, and he's still interested in me. So I'm just playing. This is what my little cat and mouse video that I filmed a couple of years ago. That's why it's still valuable today, because you got to realize that these fish are not static. They don't just sit there in schools at 30 feet and you can just catch them all day or all year. That's ridiculous. They move around. They go up and down the column depending on the predator fish that are chasing them, the lake trout mainly, and they end up going sometimes from 20 feet to 60 feet in a matter of a minute. So you got to be prepared, especially if you're jigging. You got to be prepared to go up and down. And I'm going to tell you right now, you got to be prepared to do that with your trolling. No question about it. I just pulled up. I'm going to go find me some more fish. I've had 4 bites now, and just 1 fish to show for it, but the day is young. It's only 8:38 in the morning, so that's pretty exciting to have that much activity so early. And I just got on the water about 8 o'clock, so haven't been here long. People ask me all the time why I stick with, like for example, chartreuse versus pink, as far as maggots and also lures. And I have to say that the reason is that if I know that I've already caught fish in that morning on a specific color, that's basically what I stick with until I go almost an hour without getting a bite and still being on fish. Then I'll switch to my next go-to is going to be pink, and then my next is going to be white, or some white and orange, white and green, white and pink. So I try very diligently to have at least 4 or 5 options for colors, but as I've always said, have the patience to wait it out, because you never know what's going to turn on the fish to bite. And sometimes you need an hour, sometimes you need 2 hours. The fact that I've had 4 bites on the chartreuse in less than an hour, in fact it's only been 40 minutes now, I'm going to stick with this chartreuse till at least 10 o'clock. I'm not having to move much at all, maybe 5 yards every time I move, because these fish are pretty solid in this area. I often feel like if I just had stayed still, stayed in that one spot, that I would have had opportunities of these fish that I've now kind of come through while I was trying to find more fish, and now they're behind me again. I say that, and then there was a fish that came into the cone angle right at 40 feet, and oh, and he had that. Oh my goodness, he took that one really well, and I still missed it. And now he just took off, so I got to reel in and see if he got any of my maggots. And he did. Look at that, he got all but one. So I'll go ahead and retool and get on back down there. There's a fish that rocketed over. Maybe he'll come and take it. Nope, he was really curious, and he got there and said, no, not having any. So I'm going to turn, you know, slow down a little bit, go a little bit lower, and I turned him, but he's not coming all the way back. I've got fish here, I've got fish up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave those fish below and come up higher and see if I can get any of the attention to the fish that are in the higher column. Now you see some coming kind of in the middle between two groups, so I've got to be a little bit cautious. Don't want to be too low or too high. There's one coming over to grab it. There, just see how curious they are? That is so fun to see them circle that bait and circle it and circle it. But it's fighting like a rainbow. Could be a kokanee. Oh yeah, now he's waking up. Could be a coke. Yep, it is a coke. A nice kokanee if I can get it in. It's in. Good job. That was great. Now that was down at 50 feet, so they're moving up and down the spectrum without a question. Now that bite was very interesting because it for the world felt like a rainbow, the way it was kind of just sloshing around doing whatever it could, and I just had to stick with it and stick with it, and it came all the way up and got under the boat before I realized it was a kokanee. So that one came at 55 feet. I should have thought that it was a kokanee, but sometimes those small rainbows act like that, so you never know. I have been so inundated with boat traffic that my bite has stopped, and it's really hard. It's getting really hard to stay on the fish. I've only got 2 fish in the boat thus far today, but they getting close to the 24th of July. It's the 19th, and it's 11:33, and I would imagine that every single boat that is on the that can be on the lake is on the lake. It's a beautiful day, but man, it's getting tough. I've had another, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 bites that hit me just when a wave was hitting, and so there's just very little opportunity to set the hook. Looks like a, oh, nice little kokanee. That was a nice little kokanee. That last one was a crazy one because I didn't, once again, waves were really bad. I didn't even feel the fish. Then as I got it up, I realized it was a small one. Thought it was a lake trout, so I didn't worry about it at all. Brought it right up to the surface, and it was a little kokanee. Now these fish are a little bit deeper. They could be pups. They still could be kokanee, but I just dropped down to them. The second I got down, it hit, and it kind of playing like a pup, but I screwed up the last one because I thought it was a pup, and it ended up being a kokanee. Now this one is just a pup. But that's okay. That is okay. Good to get that fish out of the lake. There's another fish just on the very next drop. Once again, it feels like it's a pup, but you never know. I've stopped guessing today because of all the wind. No, it's definitely a pup. I am into the pup, so I'll move on because I really didn't need any pups today. And I will head on and hopefully get back onto the kokanee here in just a minute. Well, let's see about this one. I'm hoping it's a kokanee. Feels like it, the way it's been fighting. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, if I can just keep him on. Oh, you know, it's a beautiful rainbow. But boy, it felt just exactly like a kokanee. First rainbow of the day. Again for watching another edition of Don Allphin on Fishing. I have to be completely honest about it. This is one of the first times that I've ever fished where I literally have to get off the water because the boat's traffic is so bad that I really can't even feel the bites when I get them. So I did catch a rainbow or two, some pup lake trout, small pups, and I caught 3 kokanee, and then I lost one at the boat, which was a small one. I was actually happy that he got off. But had a great morning. It was a lot of fun. I'm proud of this video because I did some explaining that so many of you have asked me to explain how I do this, jigging for kokanee, and so hopefully this will be a little bit educational. I've got a couple of really nice plays on kokanee that I'll be showing you, and even one rainbow that was pretty sweet. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and have a great day.